Sandra, they forgot the R. Sandra Morales, 7th grade student from Rialto Middle School, lead us in the pledge.
Please stand. Place your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Sandra. Now the Rialto, Royale's dance team, which consists of talented Rialto Middle School 7th grade students, Dalia Ashley, Valerie DeLise, Angelica Gonzalez, and Giselle Jackson, and they'll perform a hip-hop dance. Take it away, ladies. Hey, we know some of these kids, don't we? Right. Our dancing machine. The board would also like to thank Rialto Middle School parents and school staff, including the administration team, for being here and showing up for support of our talented students. Thank you all, and the parents as well. Thank you. So next, we'll have a report out of closed session.
Yes, we have one. The Board of Education took action to impose a 10-day unpaid suspension on classified employee number 1395927. The roll call vote was unanimous.
Okay, excellent. And we'll go on to the adoption of the agenda, but before we do that, the board would like to report that the following item will be pulled from section reference J 2.2 of the agenda. And the topic was to place the 39-month reemployment list. That will actually be pulled. Okay. So do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So move.
Second?
To approve
Oh.
it as amended. Thank you.
Second? We got a second? Okay. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. So with the revised agenda, do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So move. Second.
Okay. Preferential vote?
Aye.
Okay, all the rest in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And so the agenda is adopted. Next, we'll have the presentations. We'll have middle school presentations. Board member, Mr. Collier.
Oh, I don't have the names. Oh, I'm sorry. One that I did see. Gino from what school did Gino go to? Cole Middle School. Oh, I didn't get the names.
Hello. So, good evening, Honorable Board of Education, Superintendent Dr. Avila, and viewing audience. I'm Gene Rolton, president of the Mighty Cove Cougars, and I'm so excited to be here to tell you what we've been up to since last time I was here. The truth is, the Cougars have been building a name for themselves this month. At the District Science and Engineering Fair, 7 Cove students were awarded either a cash prize, building kit, or the honor of representing Rialto Unified at the county level. In fact, that is more than any other middle school, and 4 of our students are moving on to the county. We couldn't be any prouder of them. Our Mesa team is competing next weekend at the UC Riverside, and another team of our future engineers will be competing at the Rube Goldberg Machine Competition. On Monday, our STEM facility is bringing students to Introduce a Girl to Engineering, an annual event at Cal Poly Pomona. And our Billionaires Club is the recipient of Dr. Seuss mini grant in the amount of $300. Wet Paint Larry, a Rialto USD graduate and local artist, attended our Around the World dance earlier this month. He had the house pumped up the entire time with original artistic giveaways, photo ops, and dance competitions to songs from all around the world. We continue to fundraise for our grade level field trips, and we would love for you to join us in support of our efforts at Boston's and Fontana on Wednesday, March 15th. Please see the blue flyers we have around the room for more information. Last week we kicked off our chocolate fundraiser, and yes, we do have chocolate with us tonight for $1. So if you want something sweet, we got you. And let's not forget to mention how excited our teachers are to have received the brand new Microsoft Surface Pro. Thank you, RUSD board. And remember, Cougars, always loud and proud. Hashtag Cole, go for gold.
Next, we have Destiny Lopez from Rialto Middle School.
Good evening, Honorable Board of Education, Superintendent Dr. Avila, and our viewing audience. My name is Destiny Lopez, and I am the proud ASB president at Rialto Middle School. Last week, our Valentine's Day dance was our biggest dance of the year with 250 tigers rocking out to the beat. We were prepared for our Blast to the Past dance in March featuring the 90s. For all of those born in the 2000s, the 90s are the past.
Right. That's right.
Our first semester incentive trip to Knott's Berry Farm was crushed by Mother Nature's wonderful rain and had been rescheduled to March 31st, but it's never too late to celebrate. All of our 8th graders will be attending the orientation of our to the high schools. That the major leap for us who are at the top of the food chain here at RMS. We are ready to leave our big marks on campus now. We celebrate our open house Wednesday, where we throw open our classroom doors for our parents to come check out the progress. The taco man will be there with carne asada tacos. For if you get hungry for some street tacos, you're welcome to join us on our campus. Some of our robotics members demonstrated and taught others interested students the coding on our EV number robots at the science fair award ceremony the other night. We had fun sharing their robots with everyone. Our robotics club has a building of a contraception for the first Inland Empire Rube Goldberg competition on March 4th at the San Bernardino Airport. 10 different energy exercises have been happening to place a band on a side of it. With the marble rolling, stacks falling, pilgrims swaying, and wind-powered car involved, that is just the beginning. Our Builders Club will venture over the Warner Elementary on March 8th to read the first grade celebration Dr. Seuss Week. We have worked hard all year to raise scholastic book points so that we can give each student a book to add to their home library. We would also thank Rialto Education Association for the grant to assist in this project. I love dressing up and reading to them. I even have a little sister and cousin in those classes this year, and it will be extra special. As last note, I came from Relay for Life for our kickoff meeting for this year's relay held at Rialto Middle's next August. We are growing and really proud of our district's partnership with the city and community members of Rialto for this event. My goal is to have every middle and every high school form a team. I know there will have one at Ike, of course. My sister and cousin will make one here at RMS. We have even host contests between the schools over goal to increase the participation of the school in this event. With over 3,000 people in attendance last year, we hope to shatter this year's record. Both boys and girls basketball team have been working hard and hope to improve on their 1 and 2 records, with games return next week. Thank you.
Last, we have Christian Flores from Jehu Middle School.
Good evening, President Walker, Honorable Board, Superintendent Avila, and viewing audience. My name is Christian Flores, Jehu Middle School's ASB President, and I have a lot to tell you about, so here we go. We took a trip to Sweetheartsville on February 9th with our annual Sweethearts Dance, and some ended the night heartbroken and on a sugar rush. Good old Valentine's Day. To show our school support for our girls and boys basketball team, ASB put on the Nightmare Before Christmas pep rally. Chicky the Jaguar tried to make a basket and fell literally on his face, smashed his pride all to pieces, but our boys took his fall as motivation and tied with Casera for the undefeated title at this stage in the game. Get it, game? Anyways, our girls are down 0-2, but we know they will rally and come back up victorious. We in ASB are thrilled to head out to Garcia next week for Read Across America with some of the classes. Cat in the Hat Thing 1 and Thing 2 are ready with gifts for the scholars at Garcia and are excited to see them. But before we go, 150 of our students will invade Knott's Berry Farm to ride roller coasters and enjoy Saturday. Ghost Rider, here we come. We are hoping everybody tomorrow can join us Thursday, February 23rd at Farmer Boys off Baseline in Rialto for a fundraiser. Bring a flyer, see me if you need one, or stop by Jehu so we can earn some money for our upcoming activities. This Friday, we invite the board, superintendent, and district staff to Jehu as we welcome California State Senator Connie Leyva to our campus from 10 a.m. to 11. She will be speaking to our 8th grade students about education, being involved in the community, and the role we can play in our local and state government. We look forward to Senator Leyva's visit. Open house is March 1st, and we welcome everyone to come see what we are up to on our campus. We are not only busy in ASB, but our scholars are busy in the classroom as well, and we would love for you to see what they have been up to. Hope to see you there. In closing, I would like to announce some of our high achievers. First, to our 7th grade knowledgeable winners, Miss Robinson's class, congratulations. And to our Employee of the Month, Teacher Gregory Dalton, and Classified Employee Custodian Tom Hughes. They both go above and beyond and are true examples of Jehu pride and leadership. Jehu is also proud to announce that our very own Jehu principal, Mr. Armando Ortiaga, was named ACSA Region 12 Middle School Principal of the Year. He will be in consideration for California's Principal of the Year later on this year. We wish him good luck. Well, that brings me to the end, but I hope you all have a pleasant evening and a safe ride home. Thank you.
That's all.
Okay, next we'll have the employees of the quarter presentations, and we'll begin with our REA presentation.
Tonight, we are proud to honor Mrs. LaShawn Tillman. Let's give her a big hand. Would you please come on up. Ms. Tillman is an employee at Carter High School. She's in charge of the digital media, webpage design, and on-campus intervention teacher. As Rialto's Education Association's Employee of the Quarter. Ms. Tillman was honored by REA President Ms. Lisa Lindbergh, who stated, LaShawn is one of the high school directors for our REA Executive Board. She was part of the Strategic Action Team this past summer and is also part of the Rialto Unified School District LCAP committees. She was featured in the CTA magazine, the California Educator, in an article on keyboarding in the classroom and typing skills for students. At Carter High School, she is part of the School Site Council. She is also in the running for a spot as a representative at the National Education Association Representative Assembly, which will be held this summer in Boston. Another applaud. Wow. Yeah, you're going to get a cape when we get done with this. LaShawn is there for her students and colleagues, and this is really what counts. She can always be counted on to volunteer for her school and her union. So I am very proud to recognize her as an REA Employee of the Quarter. Ms. Tillman was born in the city of Los Angeles. She is the daughter of Clarence, a military veteran and retired 25-year employee with Fresno City, and Nathandra, a 33-year retired employee with the State Corrections Department. Are any of your family here tonight?
My family, my brother, my nephew, my niece.
Oh, terrific. Would you please come on up and join us and celebrate this special moment? And if you're part of this team, come on up, part of this family, please. Because we're going to take a picture and we'll celebrate this special moment. Don't be shy, just come on up. Outstanding.
You can come up too. We're on video. We'll give you the whole video. Okay.
Oh,
Terrific. And would you like to introduce your family here?
You want me to
Sure,
tell them?
sure.
Okay. My nephew Quince, my niece Maya, get that one. My brother Kevin. He's manager at Longo Lexus, so if you need a car, go see him.
We had to throw the commercial in there.
My business partner, my classroom partner, Dale, and his wife, representing iPly Global Businesses.
That is so super when we get support like this from our family, and I want to give them applaud for coming out, supporting their family. Okay, no, I just want to watch. Oh, terrific. Congratulations. At a very early age, LaShawn's family of 5 siblings moved to the city of Pomona, where she was reared from elementary through high school. Upon earning her diploma from Pomona High School, she acquired her regional occupational program credential for adolescents and adult education teaching credential. She holds an associate's degree from Chaffey College, a bachelor's degree from the University of Redlands, her MBA from Hope University, and her master's in education from Cal State San Bernardino. In 2001, Ms. Tillman began to work in the district as a substitute teacher in 2005. She received a long-term assignment at Bob Murphy Community Day School, where she remained for the next 8 years before transitioning to Carter High School. Ms. Tillman lives in the city of Fontana, where she founded and chairs Girls to Pearls, a debutantes mentoring program. Awesome. This organization is designed to provide teen 9 months of quality guidance of achieving personal goals and becoming future leaders. Although she has been proposed to 3 times, I didn't write this. She has never married. However, Ms. Tillman is a proud auntie to 28 nieces and nephews and 23 great nieces and nephews. That's twice. Reading, traveling, quality time with family and friends, and her recent induction into the National Sorority of Phi Delta Kappa Incorporated, Delta Rho Chapter San Bernardino, occupies her time when not serving on various union and school committees. Initially, Ms. Tillman said she was shocked having learned of this honor. And you might want to read this part.
Okay, I received so many congratulations from my colleagues and friends through the email system. But I especially wish to thank the union president, Ms. Lisa Lindbergh, Superintendent Dr. Avila, each board member, and the Rialto education family for this wonderful recognition.
Terrific. If we could stand over here. And you want to say something?
Yeah.
Absolutely, please.
Very quickly, just a couple. I know I only have 60 seconds. I want to say that this feels like an Oscar. Like I have a Rialto Unified School District Oscar, or that I won the lottery. It equates on that level to me. I wanted to say again, imagine my surprise when I saw an email congratulating somebody. And I ran to I was like, ooh, that looks pretty. And I saw my name and my heart dropped and my eyes got big. And I said, Lisa. And then I said, Saida. I'd like to say thank you to Dr. Avila, each of the board members, and my Rialto family. I am so humbled and so honored. Thank you for acknowledging my efforts. It takes several strategic ingredients, I got it, to make this organization a profitable experience for our scholars. One of these ingredients is partnering with community businesses like iPly Global Companies, which give our scholars hands-on, real-world experiences. Ultimately, these ingredients must make an indelible impact on each student's current and future goals. My personal and collective edict is to continue doing what got me recognized and to do it on grandeur levels. There's an idiom which says, those who can't teach. Have you ever seen that? Mm-hmm. That, what is that, the little sticker on cars? Those who can't teach. I used to take offense to that. It used to burn me up. Now I do agree. Those who can't tolerate illiteracy, we do teach. Those who cannot accept failure, we do teach. Those who cannot tolerate the status quo, we do teach.
All right.
In closing, someone asked me, why do you attend those board meetings at night? You could be doing something better at home. You could be relaxing. And my response is, there's work to do, and we're better together. And I choose to be part of the solution. Thank you, everybody.
And I want to officially say, read this, maybe not all, every word, but I want to say this is a certificate of recognition to LaShawn Tillman on behalf of Rialto Unified School District. You're the employee of the quarter, and that's a great honor. And here's the notes.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Take a picture here, and I'll get on the other side.
Hey.
On the other side. Perfect. Beautiful. 1 second. Look down, I saw you. Hold on. One. This is Facebook. Just give me 1 minute.
Our next presentation will be for Employee of the Quarter from CSEA.
Good evening, everyone. Glad you made it. Tonight we are honoring an employee that I would like to have join me here. Christopher Scott Ritchie, please come up. Do you have family that you'd like to come say?
Yes, my wife Rebecca and my daughter Riley.
Please, bring them on up. And would you like your principal or Raquel Torres, CSEA president, to come up? Sure. They're more than welcome. Come on. You know, we like to express ourselves as family. So, you know, we are proud of you. First of all, I want to make sure that I get you inspired, and I want to start by giving you your certificate. Certificate of Recognition presented Wednesday, February 22nd, 2017 by Rialto Unified School District Board of Education to Christopher Scott Ritchie, Mechanic 2 Transportation, Employee of the Quarter, California School Employees Association. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. Honored to have it.
Okay, I'll leave you to hold that. And we'll get pictures in a little bit. Okay, tonight we are excited to introduce our Classified School Employees Association, CSEA, Employee of the Quarter, as Mr. Christopher Scott Ritchie, Mechanic 2, in our Transportation Department. Mr. Ritchie was born in the city of Pomona and raised in Covina. He is a graduate of Northview High School and currently lives in Rancho Cucamonga. Mr. Ritchie was selected by CSEA President Raquel Torres for excellence in his field. I'll let you read your part. Come on up. These into the mic.
Scott has a tremendous responsibility of making sure a fleet of about 200 vehicles are operable for service to our students. Although he may not be directly visible in the eyes of students and staff, his contributions are significant. His work ethic is exceptional, and his attitude is aligned to our customer service promise. He is very deserving of this recognition.
I asked Mr. Ritchie whether he was in charge of buses, and he said the white fleet or the maintenance fleet. And he's the one who's responsible for getting everybody to their job from the maintenance office onto campuses. So I thank you for that. Mr. Ritchie is married to wife Becky, who works in human resources at a hospital. The couple has 3 children, one son who is 20 years old and is in the U.S. Marines, another son who is 18 and is in college, and one 10-year-old daughter. Hi, and your name?
My name's Riley.
Eiley?
Riley.
Riley, okay. It's these old rock and roll years, just too much loud rock and roll. In his spare time, Mr. Ritchie said that the family likes to go boating to Lake Havasu. And you want to read your quote?
I'm extremely proud and honored to receive this award. I enjoy what I do and do my best at it. I get along extremely well with everyone, including the M&O colleagues.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, that was a quote from Mrs. Dora Parham. And she is part of the M&O colleagues he speaks of, RUSD transportation manager as well. He is willing to go above and beyond his normal duties. Scott not only repairs the reported defects on the vehicles, he will not put the vehicle back on the road until he is completely satisfied with the overall safety of the vehicle. His priority is safety of students and employees, which makes him a highly respected professional by myself, his colleagues, our employees, our vendors, and customers alike. And on behalf of the Rialto Unified School Board, I'd like to congratulate you as
you very
employee
much.
of the quarter.
Thank you very much.
If you have some words, then please have some words.
Well, I'd like to thank Raquel for nominating me, and my boss, Dora. She's been awesome. She really does a lot for us. It's been the best boss we've had, you know, in my 8 years being here. And the guys in the shop, I mean, it's really a team effort, you know. It takes us all to do it all. And I'm really proud of all my guys there, and proud to be working here. I love coming to work every day.
Oh.
Thank you very much. Thank you, guys.
All righty. Let's go ahead and get some pictures, please, everybody in front.
I love her smile. Hold it for me though. We'll teach you. One. Thank you. Congratulations.
Our next presentation will be for RSMA, Employee of the Quarter.
Thank you, Board President, Ms. Dina Walker. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
It's a challenge enough to be an assistant principal in one school. But Mr. Joseph Tomaselli is a dual assistant principal at Henry and Fitzgerald Elementary Schools, and according to Rialto School Managers Association, RSMA members, he displays a great attitude. And that's just one of the reasons he was chosen to be the employee of the quarter. Mr. Tomaselli was born in Miami, Florida. He has a twin brother, and when they were 2 years old, their parents decided to move to California. He currently lives in Riverside. He graduated from Chaffee High School in 1983 and immediately attended Riverside Community College, where his father was a dean. Mr. Tomaselli completed his associate degree with an emphasis in art. He finished his bachelor's degree in business administration at the University of Phoenix. Shortly thereafter, he decided to pursue his life's dream of becoming an educator by attending classes at Chapman University to complete his master's in education and pursue his special education teaching credential. And I should have done this from the beginning. Could you please come up here? You're going to have to read some stuff pretty soon, so I figured I'd better get you now. I better call you up now before I have to call you later. No, but seriously, congratulations. You have family here today, too?
I do. I have my twin brother and my sister-in-law and a good friend, Mercedes Perez, and a great friend, Brett Van Ortwick, who got through all the traffic in Orange County just to get out here tonight to celebrate this accomplishment.
Awesome. Let's give them a round of applause. I'm going to call you guys up in a second, too, for the pictures, okay? I just have to ask. I have twin sons. Are you guys fraternal or identical?
We're fraternal.
Okay.
And I'm the oldest, and I won't say the
How-
wisest.
How many minutes older?
5 minutes.
Okay. See, my twin sons, one of them always brags to the other one, I'm the older brother. How much older? 3 minutes. So he calls his twin brother little brother. So you call your brother little brother, right? Okay. It's a twin thing. Mr. Tomaselli started his career at Curtis Elementary School in 2004, where he taught 3rd and 4th grades. Then he took a position at Curtis as an SED teacher for 1 year. The next 5 years, he was a resource specialist teacher at Casey Elementary School. From 2015 to October 2017, he was an assistant principal at Henry and Trapp Elementary Schools. Last October, he was transferred from Trapp to Fitzgerald. Dr. Metzi Moreland, principal at Henry Elementary School, nominated Mr. Tomaselli. She said, and I quote, "He deserves this honorable award for the awesome work and support he provides for 2 school sites. He has double the workload and responsibility. He handles his responsibilities with grace and dignity while expanding and developing relationships with 2 sets of staff, parents, guardians, and students. He is highly valued and respected, and he is always willing to go above and beyond to ensure that he meets the needs of both school sites. Mr. Tomaselli has 2 children. They are his 2 golden retrievers, Claire and Mandy. Mr. Tomaselli is extremely dedicated to the schools that he serves, as well as those schools where he has previously worked. In fact, he still attends school events and activities at previous school sites," stated Mrs. Connie Richardson, the president of RSMA. Connie, are you here today? Would you like to come up and read this, Connie? I think it'd be good. No problem.
Right.
I need glasses too, I just don't carry them.
Joe always has a positive attitude and works extremely hard at building relationships with parents, students, and staff. He is very supportive of RSMA and participates in all of our activities. He is definitely an asset to our entire school district, and we're very, very proud of him.
On his spare time, he loves going to the movies at least once a week. He also enjoys cooking and gardening. I think I'm going to make you my friend. And then we have one more quote here, and that's from yourself.
I am humbled and honored to be recognized by my peers as the RSMA Employee of the Quarter. This award does mean a great deal to me. Do I finish speaking?
Go ahead.
So it was all written on here, but I did want to just talk from the cusp. I am very honored and humbled by this award. And like LaShawn said, when I saw the email come up, I was shocked that my name was on, that I was on there. It is a great honor to me, and it's a privilege to work in this school district. I have been in the school district for 14 years. One of my current principals was on my 3rd grade team when I was at Curtis Elementary many years ago. I just feel that I'm accepting this award, but it takes a village. It takes all of us. And I came into administration a couple years ago, and I have been privileged to work with 4 in 2 years amazing administrators, principals that have helped me. A retired Marianne Thompson from Henry last year, my friend and fantastic colleague, Miss Roxanne Dominguez, my amazing principal and friend, Dr. Mitzi Moreland, and my new friend and principal, Mrs. Yolanda Jackson. And in fact, we have a thing going because I am split at 2 different schools. So we've had this funny thing going with all 4 of my principals, which happen to be women. So we call it, I go every 5 days here, I go 5 days there. So with the students, I have custodial rights every five days, and these are my ex-wives. So we just have a running joke and a running relationship with that, and it's fantastic. And they have helped me grow so much. I do need to thank RSMA, CSEA, and REA for all the support they do And I really want to acknowledge our players in the backfield, if you might want to call them. Everybody at the district office, from EL services, PDC, fiscal, categorical. I'm not going to name everybody. They know who they are. We all know who they are. They are our unsung heroes. They help us at the school. We are all a team to make those decisions. Personnel. Whenever I need something, it's an email, it's a quick phone call, and I get an answer from them immediately. They are fantastic. They help us at our schools. And I really want to applaud them because they all help us and make us look good. Lastly, I really want to thank the parents, my staff, my amazing teachers at all of the schools I have attended, even where I have taught. Everybody works together for the benefit of our students. Parents and guardians, I thank them because they let us work and give us the privilege every day to work with their amazing students. And I gotta say, out of everything, with this award that I just received and the acknowledgement, I am humbled. But today, my principal did make an announcement that Mr. Tomaselli is going to be getting an award. When you see him, say congratulations. And for the past, from 8 to 2 in the morning, I was so humbled by these amazing students coming up, telling me how proud of me they were, congratulating me, and that's what makes it real. That's why we are here. So thank you all. I greatly appreciate it. Dr. Avila and the Board of Education, I appreciate everything you've done.
Just 1 second, just 1 second.
All right.
As you guys come up, I just want to say this. I'm really, and family too, please, and friends, please come up. We're going to take one great picture here. I just want to say that I'm really impressed that you've been able to master what Mr. Ayala calls the three-legged stool. Because I've heard multiple people say that you do extremely well, not just with the administration and the staff, but also with the parents and the students. So with that, your service to students and staff, on behalf of the Board of Education and the school district, Mr. Tomaselli, we congratulate you for all that you do for this district and for this community. And there's your official certificate of recognition. And we're going to have to come to the front here because you've got way too many supporters here to go behind the podium.
Mr. Montez right next to you, and then have all the young ladies. Ms. Chambers, you want to come in? Come on. Ms. Chambers, please. And if you, we'll see. Yeah, and then I'll go. There you go. Let's get in there. Big
Ms.
smile.
Raquel from CSCA.
Keep in mind, this is a live televised board meeting. Okay, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and one more. Look over here, Mr. Tomaselli. 1, 2, 3. Give me 1 second. I need to get it from here. Thank you so much.
Think about all the wives.
Thank you. Congratulations. Congratulations. Really?
Pardon me? Yeah. Yes, yes. Oh, hold on. Let me get. Oh, no, I'm in the picture?
You are the picture.
Oh, look.
Oh.
Well, I would have.
All three.
No.
Did you get the president's sign? I did.
Oh.
Extra credit.
I'm thinking he's just.
Well done.
Oh. Oh, okay.
Inspiration is good.
Next, we'll be having our presentation of the Next Generation Science Standards by Dr. Anous and Dr. D'Souza. Are they here? Oh, there's... Right, because I'm rolling up this. Get to my car real quick. Yikes.
There he is. The next generation science.
Good evening, President, members of the board, Superintendent Dr. Avila. Thank you for allowing me to present tonight on Rialto USD's blueprint for the next generation science standards. So we've actually had the Common Core math standards first, we've had the Common Core ELA standards, and now we're moving to the NGSS. Let me just find out if it works. On red. Okay. Yeah, put it on. On green. Okay, now that we got through these technical things, what I'm going to talk tonight and the goals for the session are linking Rialto USD strategic plan, and that's been one of the best things from the district that we've, Dr. Avila's vision that has brought this in to guide our science. Talk about the architecture of the NGSS standards, because unlike the other standards, they are pretty complicated, and just give you a little bit about it, and then share where Rialto is in terms of the next generation science progress in terms of elementary schools, middle schools, and then where are we in terms of high school, and how have we used data to come up with a plan to move forward. So if you look at our strategic plan and our mission, and I'm not going to read the whole mission, but the highlights in red, we want to give our students, each student, to achieve personal and career fulfillment. We want to have high expectations for student achievement. We want engaging learning environments, which science allows us to do that. And we want learning opportunities beyond the school setting. So those are extremely important, and they go hand in hand with our NGSS standards, because we make all decisions with the best interests of students. And that is what we as a district strive to do. We have the highest expectations for everyone, and the most important thing is that we do not allow the past to determine our future. Times have changed, learning theories have changed, we want the best for our students. So if we look at the NGS standards, these standards are a little different than the Common Core standards, because the Common Core standards were standards which came down from the governors from the 50 states who all signed off on the Common Core standards. These are not political standards. These are standards which came from research in science and were adopted in California purely on merit and looking at the science that went around it. And they outline a new vision for teaching and learning science, and the key word is for all students and to have coherent learning. So if you look at the science and you look at the shifts that have come for science, first of all, it's relevant and it's for everyone. And then it's basically looking at the interconnected future nature of science. So science tells a story. It's not just one grade you're learning this, another grade you're learning that, but what is that storyline of science? It builds coherently in K-12, and then the most important thing is that it connects to college, career, and another key word, which is citizenship. How do we get informed citizens? When they go out and vote on different aspects that relate to science, we need science for good citizenship. And the NGSS and Common Core state standards are also integrated in these standards, and they align. So it's not just science standards by itself, but they're integrated with both ELA and math. And how is this philosophy different? It prepares all students. Again, the key word is all students for college, career, and citizenship. And it's critical to participate in public policy and good decision making. Like I said before that when we go out to vote, we need to know all the issues. I know a couple of years in Rialto, all the water shortage and making decisions, what kind of grass you had to have in your lawn, those are all directed to science. If you look how the science standards are different from the 1998 standards, so the last standards came out in 1998 in the framework. If you look just at the verb on the past 7th grade standards, it says students know. And know is like the knowledge level, one of the very lowest levels if you look at Bloom's taxonomy. When you look at the current standards, they say use arguments supported by evidence how a body system of interacting subsystems composed of group of cells. So it's asking kids to not only use argument, but it's also asking them to use evidence, which is a much higher level. And then if you look at the words argument and use evidence, those also come from language arts. So it integrates both the science and the language arts together in this case. And if they're providing evidence, they're most probably going to get data from mathematics to be able to prove it. So the science standards basically offer three-dimensional learning. It's called a 3D model. And the 3D model is how do you learn the science, why do you learn the science, and what do you learn from the science? So that's what we're going to look a little bit on the engineering of these science standards. So if I look at the dimensional ones, how do you learn the science? That's how science and engineering practices come about. And if you look at them, they're basically the same science. If you look at the science procedures when you're doing a science fair project, those are basically those 8 procedures which are outlined there. If I look at the way the science standards go, I know this looks like a really complex chart, but it basically is like having a sports team. And if everyone does their job from kindergarten all the way to 12th grade, there's an articulate way as the student progresses from grade level to grade level. Then if you look at the second one, why are you learning the science? And if you look at it, it's basically looking at cross-cutting concepts, which are basically how that storyline is weaved. When we look at things like in mathematics or in science, we look at patterns and we try to make sense of the patterns. So they use natural phenomena to be able to do the why. And if I look at dimensional 3, and dimensional 3 is the disciplinary core ideas, which is basically the science that they learn. It's extremely important that a couple of things are there in the why. First of all, it's real-world science. So it's not just science from a textbook, but it's real-world science. And it's also linked to the 4 disciplines of science: earth and space science, life science, physical science, and engineering, which are all woven together. Okay, so that looks really complicated. And this is how that 3-dimensional model is built. And if you look at the foundation boxes, that's the blue box, the orange box, and the green box. Those are the how, what, and why. And then on the top, which is written in red, those are they're woven together to form the performance expectations, which are basically on what the kids are going to be assessed on. And so this is what the teachers, if you look, are getting in-serviced on, because these standards are woven in different ways to tell a storyline. And then the last part is that performance expectation where the kids take the assessment on. So much for the engineering part of the standards. Now, when we look at what we are doing in elementary schools, Dr. Vela has actually brought a lot of passion to science with all the different STEM. I was listening to the students tonight talk about participating in the Rube Goldberg contest. And so if you look at the science, I think the bottom picture there is of Dollahan. We have Fitzgerald there on the right-hand side. And kids are excited about science and they want to learn more about it. So what are some of the things that we have done in science? So these are some of the things that were created. We are fortunate to have the RI Smart Grant, and these were teachers from 3rd through 8th grade and K2. Also, we recruited people, and I would be remiss if I didn't praise Dr. Salko and our own Juanita Chan, who put a lot of these things together and got feedback from teachers. So if you look at the kindergarten one, and my eyes are a little bad there, they basically looked at designing little containers to keep their ice cubes from melting. And so they looked at different materials. In 1st grade, they looked at seed dispersal and basically how animals adapt to be able to spread seeds, how seeds go on animal fur. So these kids actually wore their little socks and saw how many seeds they could carry and were able to try that out. The roly-poly bugs was like a neat little lab that they looked at the bugs and how they interacted with vegetation. In Again, those are some of the creative ways. So the most important thing to know from that is that we have developed three-dimensional pacing guides for elementary. We developed common assessments aligned to the ELA, and all of these things were on communication in elementary. So next year, what we plan to do is to write another set of units for each trimester so that we build it up, as time goes by. If we look at middle school science, these are some of the exciting things that have happened with robotics, with STEM. That was the STEM Bowl, or what JU had a couple of weeks ago at their school. So different things that have happened at the schools, but we actually have created pacing guides. I need to back up and say a second that the state standards, these standards were just approved by the state. There are no materials for the standards. The state tests, the initial test is this year, which is basically trying out a pilot test. Next year would be another test they're going to field test. And then after that, only in 2020 will the books come out. But we are moving far ahead of most districts to put this together and start it out. In terms of the 8th grade middle school, we have developed an integrated science common scope with the teachers. And we have teacher teams who also have developed using CK12 digital textbooks. So those digital textbooks are going to be really neat because if the science changes or we want to make changes, we can make it with one swift change and all those changes happen. And there are actually 4 assessments that happened this year, 2 common labs and 2 kind of modified multiple choice and small answer questions that we put in place this year for middle school. In terms of high school, and we want to make high school science fun and engaging. And then the most important thing is to have all students accessible to all standards and increase the college and career readiness. So the main goal of the NGSS is all students, all standards. That's the theme from the state. So all students exposed to all standards. So I won't bore you the data, but we did look at the data very carefully as to how do we make changes, because we want to have all students having all standards in science. And so some of the things that have been put out from the state, and we have to rewrite all the science courses for the high school. And you know that all those courses have to go to UC to be approved for A through G so that our kids get the credit for science. So currently, there were a couple of different models. There was the current 4-course model. There was the 3-course Earth Science embedded model. And there was every science every year. And that's one of the themes. The new test in science is called the California Science Test, or the CAS test. Will be testing all standards. So that's why the middle school went with an integrated science pathway, because they'll be tested in all standards in 8th grade, and the test in the 11th grade, it'll be all standards. So right now the test is in the 10th grade, but the test will be moving to the 11th grade. And our new API and AYP will be linked to college and career. So things that the board needs to reflect on is that how did we build on progress in K-8, and then how can we utilize NGS as an opportunity to attain more students to be college and career ready. So one of the first things that we looked as our current 4-course model, and as you know, UC decided in their infinite wisdom that earth science was not considered a science course, it was considered an elective course. So we lost a lot of kids who were basically non-college ready by taking earth science. So basically, if the kid started out in earth science, they would have to go to biology, and then they would either take chemistry or physics. But when sometimes the easy route is given, kids will say, oh, I got my physical science requirement in earth science, I got my life science requirement in biology, I don't need to take any more science. But then they missed out on college if they didn't take chemistry and physics. And we lost a lot of kids in earth science. And so this did not promote a lot of voice and choice. And so also if kids only take 2 years of science, earth science and biology, then remember the test is all standards, and that means it has earth, biology, chemistry, and physics, and it's given in the 11th grade. So if they don't take any science in the 11th grade, we know students forget from one day to the next, leave alone a gap of 1 year. And so after much debate and discussion, and we decided, and this was the curriculum team, the principals, etc., that we would not offer this 4-course model sequence in the district because, again, we don't do things the way they are. We do things to help our students to succeed. And so we looked at the three-course model. And what are the three-course model? They basically allow you multiple entry points, which I'll talk in a second about. But the most familiar sequence is where you have the biology, chemistry, and physics, but you have the earth science integrated in each of the courses. So your freshman year, you'll take biology with earth science integrated in it, or you'll take chemistry with earth science integrated in your sophomore year, and in your junior year you would take physics with earth science integrated in it, and then you could take your choices of AP, biology, chemistry, or physics your senior year. Your real world sequence is where you have all the sciences each year for your freshman, your sophomore, and your junior year, getting you ready for that CAS test too. And so how can we safeguard against tracking? Because right now the kids who take earth science are really tracked. They are tracked to a non-college track. So how do we eliminate that to get more kids towards college? And how can we transition teachers and students more smoothly? Because whenever there's change, there's a lot of worry about that when things are not as familiar as they are. So let's look at those most familiar models. On the left-hand side is the one I talked about where you have the biology, chemistry, and physics integrated with the earth science. So one of the things with the most familiar model is that the kid starts out in biology, then proceeds to chemistry. If the student fails chemistry, they have to repeat chemistry again. If they fail it a second time, they still have to keep on going to be able to take the third year of science. Okay, if you look at the real world lens, and these are the courses that we've talked about. So if you look at the water certification course, they can start their freshman year in water certification. And let's say I really don't like water, I want to explore citizen science. Okay, so then I can go to my second year in citizen science because they have the same standards packaged together, but with different real world lenses. One is towards water, one is towards citizen science, and one is towards medical certification. So if I didn't like my sophomore year with citizen science and I want to explore medical certification, I can take that third year of medical certification and I still make the UC requirements. So I have a smattering of each if I want to explore that. Right now, UC says that to get into UC, you have to take 3 years of the real world lens, and you would have to take 2 years of the most familiar. What we are proposing is because of the test being 11th grade test, that all students should take 3 years of science because not only it helps them to be able to go to college, but it also helps them to become a more informed citizen. Okay, so if you look at it, these are some of the things we're working out, is who can teach these classes. And basically personnel has worked with us to define there are basically 8 teachers who have to do certain coursework to be able to get, right now only a full credential can teach any of these classes, a specialized credential cannot, and there are about 8 teachers who need to take coursework. They have about 3 years to be able to do that. And where are we with the UC OP course submission? We've actually worked in advance. So all the water courses have been approved by UC on the UC website, and the first citizen science course has been approved. So we have to write the most familiar science courses and then the last 2 environmental sciences courses, and we have to work on the medical certification. So this gives kids a lot of choices. Also, these real world lenses classes were chosen so they were aligned to CTE pathways. So if a kid is in a CTE pathway and they're learning more about medical science and a health pathway, then the science class also helps to link that learning together. And then one of the things is that all these classes require a lot of hands-on labs. So money needs to be put in that. The superintendent has been very generous to do that, but it requires that all the kids explore, and actually it's not just textbook driven, but explored by labs. So when we move forward, basically every student will excel throughout their career in Rialto Unified District. This was our plan. They will be a responsible citizen who contributes to a global society. They will be able to achieve success in their chosen life endeavor, and they will graduate with a personal pathway for college or career. So basically what I did today was I defined Rialto Unified Strategic Plan. I described the architecture of the NGSS standards. I shared the progress of what we've done in elementary and middle school. And I've also talked about what work is ahead of high school and how we looked at data to plan moving forward. So any questions for me? Go ahead, Mrs. Kelly.
Well, with the real lens, as you said, we obviously have credentialing issues at the high school level. So are those teachers who are not credentialed to teach every science going to have to, I think you said they have
Recertify.
3 years to complete.
They
the
have 3
plan?
years. Rhonda came to our workshop and spoke to the teachers. And what we would like is also support for those teachers to take the C set classes in those areas. So most of them have to take like the general science class. So if I have a physics credential, I have to take the general science class to get a full credential.
Is this at their own expense?
I think we're trying to work that out right now. And right now, yeah, it's at their own expense.
Because, it's not their fault that their credential is not valid for the direction we want to move in. So
Right.
I think we need to consider that. Asking them to go back to school and take 8 more classes is quite a bit.
And also, what I want to point out is we want the kids to take A through G classes to make that the default curriculum, so there's no choice of them not taking those classes. The other thing to remember is if I am a physics teacher, and even if I have a full credential, I might be a little leery because I don't have that biology background. So there's lots of staff development when we, put these units together. We've actually planned for staff development the end of the summer, so that way the teachers know exactly what they're going to teach and have the materials ready.
And you also said we'd be using the teacher-created, basically online textbooks until 2020, when there will be a textbook written, or?
Or the other thing is if we go one-to-one initiative, then textbooks would not be an issue with our students. So we would have those computers.
Okay.
Because right now, if you look at social studies, the last textbook was done when I think the first George Bush was president. And so they don't get updated. This way it would be really updated. So one of the things that I forgot to mention is there are like a couple of things that can be controversial in the science standards, and we know we don't want to go there. So like, for example, global climate, right? That can be a hot button political issue. Another thing is on evolution. So what we've already told the teachers, we're going to put resources there for you to use. Please use those resources. If you want to bring your own resources, run it by us like 3 weeks in advance so we can vet them, so that no one is put in any kind of jeopardy, especially with those hot topic things that might come up.
What is the reception of the teachers to all this?
So the elementary and middle have been really excited. They have worked. High school, a lot of changes. So
right.
There's just to be very truthful, 2 high schools want to embrace and move forward. One of the high schools is a little leery about the change process, and we're going to try to be as supportive. We've listened to all their concerns and had various sessions to talk to them, but we have to move forward for our kids as a district.
Okay.
Anybody?
Thank you.
Montez?
I'm sorry, did you already give an implementation timeline?
So right now we've done the elementary, we've done the middle. We're working on some of the courses for the high school. So those courses will go in this summer so that we can get the UC approval for them. So what we're going to work on is the biology with the earth science embedded, and we're going to work on the 2nd and 3rd course for the environmental science so we can have that. What we did is we piloted this year, so we were already ahead of the game. We piloted the water courses and the environmental science first course at 2 high schools, so we already have data and we can, try to help that and improve on it.
Anybody
And
else?
the last question was, you wanted to ask here the board how we can move this forward?
So what I wanted you to know the history behind it, and that the standards is not a Rialto thing. This is California standards. And when I say to support it, it's like we will need a lot of hands-on materials, especially even from elementary to middle to high school, because kids will have to explore it. And Dr. Avila has promised for materials, but I want you to know that we are trying our best to do that so teachers don't have to put money out of their pockets to be able to do that.
Mr. Martinez, did you have a question?
Thank you. Just for the public's sake, I know that we are ready network-wise for one-to-one, but we already have some teachers in science. Mr. Orton up at Carter is already doing bring your own device. We should be ready and willing to move in that direction now.
So right now the plan, I think, and you can correct me, Dr. Avila, is to have all the schools for the teachers to have the one-to-one devices so that they can teach from it. But then the next stage after that is the students to be able to have those initiatives. So I know a lot of principals have also put money in their budgets to be able to get the Chromebooks to be able to do that.
That's exciting for the students and the staff as well. And if I understood correctly, what I've read is that all the information is online currently. So any money that we had to buy for books in the past, may not have to be there if we can get 1-to-1 by 2020.
Right.
So that gives us plenty of time. So just want to encourage everyone to move in that direction for that reason.
And then also, if you see the standards, the way they're written, you know, the three-dimensional model, that can be a little scary if someone doesn't know how to read them, you know, and that's why a lot of professional development, there's a lot of ways to get for the teachers to build their own standards, but then the last one, which is the performance expectation, is the one where the kid is going to be assessed on.
Yeah.
Perhaps we could, I'm sorry.
Mm,
may I
oh, no,
take
I
one
don't.
more?
Mhm.
Perhaps we could bring Chapman University or someone in over the summer, take up space in some of our classrooms and teach our people. That way we can, you know, get things ready and
actually
won't
we
have
have
to be
put
out of their pocket.
we're actually putting materials together for all the courses, so we'll have that. But I think you're talking about the credential, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And actually, I think Orange County, and I need to look at that, Orange County Department of Education has CSET preparation classes for online. So I'm going to look into that if we can get our teachers to be able to get clear their credentials that way.
Thank you.
Okay.
Madam President.
My question was just in reference to the classes, because I know you still have to get them approved through Doorways. And how long about is that going to, for the high school classes specifically, does that process take? And are these classes being designed, meaning the course descriptions that Rialto Unified is actually developing the course description, or are there other schools that have these particular classes in alignment with the standards already, and you guys are kind of like just massaging those to fit Rialto?
So I'm happy to report that Rialto is actually a pioneer in this. So other districts are coming to meet with us, to work with us, to put these courses together. And I have to give credit to Juanita Chen because she was on the Science Framework Committee. And the classes for the real world lenses, that was done by getting different feedback as to how to do it. So we've had like El Monte School District, we've had different districts in Orange County, Riverside Unified, all the county offices wanting to work with us to put these courses together. So the timeline, basically, we're starting in a week's time to put that together. And we have 3 different opportunities in UC. So the first opportunity would be to submit the courses in May. And if certain courses are not approved, then they come back in July. And then we have a second chance to correct them. And then the third chance, I think, is by the end of September.
Okay.
So that's we're trying to get the very first submission in. But remember, all the water courses are already approved, and the first environmental science. So we have that already approved for the high school.
Okay. And then the last thing is, in reference to those courses and the changes of the descriptions, are we looking at them still being compatible with schools outside of California? Not just that you see, you know, within the California framework, but are they going to still be compatible with other national organizations across the institutions?
So about 22 states have signed up for the NGSS standards.
Okay.
So we are doing, you know, basically first with California because the science is a high quality science, but also if you look at the science, it's not like learning chemistry the way chemistry is. It's looking at situations like citizenship, right? So if you're looking at, like in Rialto, we had water contamination. Okay, so what did we do? What is the chemistry involved in it? Okay, how does the water flow go? How does it, you know, run? What kind of minerals are pulled with the water when it goes? So we're looking at earth science. So we're looking at that in an integrated way.
Okay, and I get that. I just want to make sure that we do have, students still have for the states that are not California, that the classes that the students will be taking, there'll be some reciprocity in credits, you know, for those going on to colleges outside of California. And so that's why I just want to make sure. 22 is a big number.
Right.
It's almost half of the U.S. I just want to make sure that it doesn't limit our students who would naturally go somewhere else. And so that if that's their only option, I just want to make sure that we have what did you say, the familiar or whatever? The most familiar options, as well as what our new direction is going into.
I will look into that.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other questions?
No, I just like to say thank you. It's excellent presentation, very thorough. I appreciate it.
Thank you. All right. And so next we're going to Measure Y presentation. And that will be there, Miss Paula Bailey.
Yes.
Good evening, Superintendent, President Walker, board members, and viewing audience. My name's Paula Bailey. I am currently the chair of our Measure Y committee. And this is the audit report that had came out on February 2nd. You received this in your board packet. So you can refer there. Basically, on February 2nd, 2017, the external auditors from Vincenti Lloyd Suitsman LLP presented the Proposition 39 General Obligation Bond Measures Financial Measure Y Financial and Performance Audit Report. As of June 30th, 2016, the two presenters were Priscilla Osborne Flores, CPA, and Mr. Jeff V. Okay, you got the spelling there. I'm not going to slaughter anyone's name. The report states that the opinion on the financials are fairly stated, which is reference page 3. The financials of Measure Y as of June 30th, 2016, pages 4 through 6. Notes to the financial statement, which are pages 7 through 10. The letter regarding internal controls, which are pages 11 through 12. There were no findings. Auditors verified that funds from Measure Y were expended on authorized bond projects and not used for salaries of school administrators or other operating expenses of the district. I also would like to let you know that 2 of our other bond oversight committee members are here, Mr. Russell Silva and Ms. Connie Bougier. They were here tonight to also represent our committee. And any additional questions? You have Mr. Muhammad Islam, who will be right at your service.
Does the board have any questions?
Just a comment. Thank you,
Yes.
Paula, for your services.
Absolutely. Being here for the kids and no matter what program is what's important.
Also to Russell, and sorry, I didn't get the
Connie.
Connie. Thank you.
We have numerous other members that unfortunately could not be here at this time, but we all put in our time and we're excited about what Measure Y is bringing to our districts. I mean, especially Eisenhower, we all see the field is coming too. We're happy that we got rain, but we're kind of asking it to settle out so that our construction can continue. But it's going to be amazing, and it's going to be really exciting to see all these wonderful things coming too.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate it. And to the other committee members as well. Next, we'll have our public comments from the floor. At this time, any person wishing to speak on any item not on the agenda will be granted 3 minutes. Are there any?
We have one. We
Okay.
have Mr. Luis Figueroa.
My little English, good evening,
Good evening.
Mr. Superintendent and board members, Mr. President. Gracias por la oportunidad de estar aquí para poder anunciar que vengo en representación de Rialto World Soccer Academy.
Thank you for the opportunity for being here to announce to you that I'm here in representation of the Rialto World Soccer Academy.
Nuestra organización quiere, sin fines de lucro, quiere agradecer a las personas del distrito escolar que nos han ayudado a la comunidad.
Our nonprofit organization wants to thank the Rialto School District who have helped us give services to people in the community.
Los niños de nuestra comunidad que practican el fútbol soccer en las diferentes escuelas del distrito han hecho algo para agradecer a las personas que nos han ayudado durante todo este tiempo.
The children in our community who practice the game of soccer within the district have done something special to thank all those people who have helped us practice that sport.
En el próximo meeting, si ustedes me lo permiten, estaré con miembros de la comunidad aquí en el distrito para poder entregar el reconocimiento a las personas y no sé si podría decir los nombres de esas personas.
For the next board meeting, if you allow me to, I will bring some members of the community to hand some due recognitions, and I'll bring those members. And I'm not sure if I can name the people that I will be recognizing. Can I?
Por la escuela.
No, I'm saying. Yes.
Oh.
His light's
Por
still
la
on.
escuela
Yes.
Rialto High School, our principal, Mr. Ernie Ayala, Joe Baca y Frank Garza. Cusera Middle School, Monique Conboy, I think that's the right pronunciation. Okay, sorry, my English is not good. And Mr. Mohammed Islam, Associate Superintendent, and his secretary, Karen Smith. And for Cole Middle School, Caroline
Ivy.
Okay, thank you. In facilities planning, we have 4 personas. Mrs. Iris Shu, she's here tonight. And Mr. George Palma, Luis Lujan, and Cheryl Decker. And that's the person who we are going to recognize, and some members of the board too. Mr. Edgar Montes, Mr. Forgot the name. I'm very nervous. My God.
Don't be nervous.
Edgar Montes, Joseph Martinez, Mrs. Nancy Kelly, who's helping us a lot in the past, and Mr. Joseph Ayala. Muchas gracias por el tiempo.
De nada.
Thank you very much for your time.
So at this time, for public comments on agenda items, any person wishing to speak on any item on the agenda will be granted 3 minutes. Do we have any?
We have none.
Okay, excellent. Then we'll go to comments from the association executive board members, Rialto Education Association, REA. Anybody running down the hall? There we go.
A
little
flash. Was that the wind I just see?
A red wind. It was.
Thank you. Good evening, Board and Superintendent Avila and viewing audience. Lisa Lindbergh, President of the Rialto Education Association. I wasn't going to say anything negative this evening, but I'm afraid I do have to tell you that you may hear from teachers concerned about what Dr. D'Souza presented to you. The concerns are more than what was relayed. So if you hear from them, I don't want you to be surprised, but there is quite a bit of concern about what's being planned, just so you're prepared. And I'm not a secondary science teacher, so I can't speak to it, but I will encourage them to speak to it. So that's all I have to say about that. My other thing, all good news. REA gave out $1,400 worth of mini grants for Read Across America next week. It included builders clubs from the middle schools, Joy Cantrell's theater group at Rialto High. Someone's doing something at Eisenhower with the home ec thing, and just grade levels, middle school, high school, all levels. So it was great to see, and we're happy to do that. And the next thing I want to let you know is that we are sending 30 teachers to conferences in March, 10 to the New Educators Weekend that CTA is putting on, and there's between the 2 conferences, there's over 80 sessions that they'll be able to choose from, including classroom management, special education and navigating IEPs, Common Core, technology, English language learners, musical innovation, student motivation and engagement, fitness, literacy, next generation science standards, STEAM activities, and member benefits, including student loan forgiveness workshops and investing for retirement. So there's a range of things we're sending everyone to. But 10 are going to the New Educator Weekend, and then the following weekend, 20 of our teachers are going to be going to the Good Teaching Conference, which is the premier CTA event, Good Teaching Conference South. And it starts on their first day of vacation, and we still had 20 people and some on a waiting list still wanting to go. So I just wanted to share some of the good things that our members are doing. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. California School Employees Association, CSEA. You ready? She's gone? Okay. Communication Workers of America, CWA.
Welcome.
You're welcome, yes. Good evening, Board.
Good evening.
President Walker and
Superintendent Avila. As you saw earlier with one of your teachers that got awarded, she started off as a substitute teacher. And they get that way because you guys give us training every once in a while. I would love to see you give us a little bit more training, and I would also like to see Miss O'Kelly there be able to honor a substitute of the quarter over there so that you have all four your unions being part of your membership. That, I think, would be a great idea, and I really, really like the science project that came out with, and maybe we can get some substitutes trained in that. We have in the agenda our reopener, and I believe our reopener is going to go really very fast with the new partner over here that we'll be talking to, and I think Rhonda will be in it too once in a while. So I'm looking very much forward to that, and thank you folks very much for taking care of your guest teachers.
Thank you. Thank you. Rialto School Managers Association, RSMA.
Good evening, Board of
Evening.
Education and Dr. Avila. Nice to see you again. Connie Richardson, President of the Rialto School Managers Association. We have an event tomorrow afternoon from 4 o'clock until 5:30. It's going to be right here at the PDC in the conference room. And we've invited Sherman Garnett, who was the head of child welfare and attendance for San Bernardino County and quite a powerful force. He's a longtime AXA leader, and he's coming tomorrow to speak to all of our members on the benefits of being an AXA member and also a lot of the new legislative updates that have come out recently that impact us as administrators, managers, and educators. So if any of you are available, we would love to have you come out. We're also starting to work on our scholarships, which is one of the main things that our dues goes for, is our scholarships for our high school students. So we'll be starting to do some getting to the high schools and looking at some portfolios coming up very soon. So thank you very much and have a great evening. And congratulations once again to all the employees of the quarter.
Thank you. Next, we'll have comments from the superintendent.
Thank you, President Walker, and congratulations as well to all of the recipients for employees of the quarter. I also would like to mention that the Rialto Host Lions Club hosted its 80th annual student speaking contest held at Mimi's Restaurant in Fontana this past Monday. A total of 16 student speakers from Carter and Rialto High Schools participated. I want to thank Carter High School teachers Mr. Clark Wilson and Mr. Stephen Schmidt, along with Rialto teachers Mrs. Elizabeth Mariani and Mrs. Christy Streff for attending and supporting our students on a Monday when technically school was off. The topic was, is the right to privacy a threat to our national security? The winner was Shelby Mejia from Rialto High School, a sophomore who beat out the other 15 participants, received her cash prize, and now advances to the regional competition next Monday in Corona. So congratulations to Chelsea Mejia from Rialto High School. Also, congratulations to this month's Rialto Kiwanis Students of the Month from Rialto High School, Alexis Rodriguez and Aaron Cermeño. And to the East Rialto Kiwanis Students of the Month from Carter High School, Roger Fair and Amanda Fierro. And from Eisenhower High School, Ashley Estrada and Dorian Hunter. I would also like to say that I'm very proud to share with our Board of Education and our viewing audience that the district is the first district in the county to receive the Green Ribbon Award for a school district presented by the Superintendent of Schools, the State Superintendent of Schools, Tom Torlakson. This is similar to the Gold Ribbon Awards that are issued for academic excellence. These Green Ribbon Awards are issued to districts who are leading environmentally friendly or sound environments in their school districts. So we are the first district in the county to receive this distinction. So I want to thank Dr. D'Souza and our business office, Mr. Mohammed Islam, also Brian Montes, Derek Harris, and the many others who have been a part of making our district an environmentally friendly district with our solar panels, our CNG project, our electrical buses planned, our gardens in each of the elementary schools, for really taking this to a higher level here in our region. I also want to congratulate Casey Elementary School Principal Joanna Cuellar for leading her school in earning the Green Ribbon Award in the school category. And if it sounds familiar, last year Mrs. Cuellar led Myers Elementary School with a gold ribbon, or to receive a gold ribbon distinction. Now she has the Green School distinction, Green Ribbon distinction. That's why I have this. So it seems as though there's a pattern here, so we may have to place her at another school next year to receive another Green Ribbon or Gold Ribbon category there. There will be recognitions on March 3rd in Redondo Beach, where the state superintendent will issue all the awards to all the recipients statewide. So we are looking for one brave board member that can join us in Redondo Beach next Friday, March the 3rd. It starts at 3 o'clock. So if your calendar permits, if you can please let me know so that we can make arrangements to have you join us there with our teams. And also, our grand kickoff for our district literacy initiative, anchored by Footsteps to Brilliance, will be held at Dr. Ernest Garcia Elementary School on Tuesday, April the 25th, 2017, from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. This is a big deal. We are planning to have our teams from our local high schools join us in this festivity. We are planning to invite local, regional, and state dignitaries, partners of our literacy collaborative. We are expecting approximately 300 to 400 special invites, special guests. So please mark your calendars. This is a big deal. It's really our coming out to the community to let them know how much we value literacy and what the goals are moving forward with our Footsteps to Brilliance project. So again, this is April the 25th. At Garcia Elementary School from 10 to 12 a.m. Also on February the 27th, we will hold our first district level African American Parent Advisory Council DPAC Black History Celebration. Again, scheduled for this Monday from 5:30 to 8 p.m. at the Bistro located at 324 North Palm Avenue in Rialto. Refreshments will be served from 5:30. And the celebration of Black History will begin promptly at 6 p.m. Please join us in celebrating the contributions and achievements that people of African descent have made to American history in the past and history being made presently. Also, a public Black History book fair will be held on Monday, February 27th through Wednesday, March 1st from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Chavez Huerta Center for Education adjacent to the Bistro in room S3. And please mark your calendars on February the 28th, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. The Ritz Committee will be holding auditions for Putting on the Ritz Fine Arts Gala at Henry Elementary School. There are over 70 applications, and of those 70, 12 will be selected to perform at the Ritz on Saturday, April the 27th, 2017, from 6 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. at Carter High School. Tickets go on sale second week of March. So good luck to our 70 talented students auditioning for those 12 coveted slots. And our RUSD alumni spotlight tonight comes from Myler High School. We want to acknowledge Adrian Sandoval, a 2016 graduate of Myler High School. He will be attending college shortly, but due to his passion for music, videos, and technical work, he has secured employment with the National Multimedia Netflix Original Corporation. Mr. Sandoval is based now in Los Angeles, making independent movies and providing engineering for national video games. Good luck, Mr. Sandoval, and like Steven Spielberg, we want to make sure that you don't forget your roots once you make it big. Your district is very proud of you, and congratulations on your artistic achievements. That's all.
Excellent, thank you. Next, we'll begin our board member comments, and we'll have our first from our student board member, Juwan Collier.
Thank you, President Walker.
Mm-hmm.
Good evening, board and viewing audience. I have nothing but good news and congratulations today. First, I want to congratulate Sabrina. I forgot her last name, but Sabrina on being accepted to Cal State Dominguez Hills. She was complaining in class the other day about how other kids on the news were being, what's the word? Notified, or not notified, but were being, their names were on the news, and she was complaining about it. So I did want to recognize her. Also, I want to congratulate my best friend, Nicholas Freeman, on being accepted to Northern Arizona. One of my other close friends, Paula, I forgot her last name as well, for being accepted to Cal State Chico. And I want to congratulate myself on being accepted to I want to say dream college, but the only college I wanted to get accepted to, which is Colorado, the University of Colorado Boulder. I want to thank my family, Mrs. Polito, Mrs. Smalls, Mrs. Joffrey, and a lot of other people that have pushed me towards or have put me in a position where I know I can thrive and accelerate and put myself in a predicament to succeed. So I do want to thank these people. I feel without them, I wouldn't be in the position I am today, or be sitting in the seat talking to you guys about me being accepted to a school that I've almost always wanted to go to. So I do, at the bottom of my heart, want to say thank you. Also, I want to congratulate, hopefully Mrs. Polito is watching this tonight, but I want to congratulate our ASB today for helping out our counselors assign 8th graders their schedules for next year and their schedules for the rest of their high school career. We're having a new pathway selection, I think it is, where you pick a pathway on what job you want, and they have all your classes set for the rest of your high school career, I guess. So we did a pretty good job with that today, with this being our first time ever doing anything like that. So I do want to congratulate all of those who had helped and moved chairs and helped the students with any questions that they had. And I think that is about it for me today. Before I end, I want to start off with our countdown. I think I looked earlier today. I believe it's 101 days until graduation, so we're getting a little closer. But thank you guys.
All right, thank you. Next, we'll have comments from Board Member Ayala.
Thank you, President Walker. I'll start by picking up this little glass here. Looks like it's empty, so this is not vodka. All right, so we're gonna, there you go. Little prop. Some people would say this is half empty, and some people would say this is half full. You knew where I was going with that. You know, that by setting new goals and applying well thought up strategies, you can change your life and give yourself a chance to breathe again. This is that time of the year where throughout 1,100 school districts in California, there's a lot of staff changes being made, and we're not immune to it. First of all, tonight we have a plan, and this plan is going to affect somebody in the school district. Those are sensitive issues, and I think if you're going to share sensitive issues, then maybe you should share issues that maybe we've experienced ourselves. And I can tell you, I was a teacher for 34 years. My first 20 years was just smooth sailing. I taught kids industrial arts. I supervised them. I helped them to work with power equipment safely. And knock on wood, this is press wood here, sawdust. I got those kids through the program safely for the 20 years. And after 20 years, I was called into the principal's office, and I was excited. Well, maybe they're going to give me you know, some kudos or something, but instead they gave me the classified ads. So I said, wow, 20 years. Wow. Classified ads? I said, I don't think I'm ready for the classified ads. He says, but the district made a decision to eliminate the industrial arts programs. They're bringing in computer technology. And I said, wow, I wasn't prepared for this. He says, well, we've been telling you in meetings, and you're sitting in that back row. We've seen you before, so the day has come. And I said, okay, look, can you go back to the district and tell them that, you know, I got 20 years invested here, and I'm willing to work a different assignment. And she said, well, Mr. Ayala, what are you qualified for? And I said, well, if you give me the opportunity, I will teach beginning nursing, if you let me. I'll get back to you on this. She came back 2 weeks later, and she said, we're going to let you teach math. I said, math? I said, did you look at my transcripts? I said, boy, I sat in the back row in that class, too. Well, that's the only openings we have. So this is how it works. If you go back to school and you pass your classes, you can keep a job here. I said, wow. So what did I do? I went to Home Depot and bought a for sale sign, put it in my front yard, and I said, that's the way it goes, honey, but I'm not giving up. I'm going to go to Chaffey College, and I'm going to start learning math. And so intro algebra, here we come. Took out my calculator. I don't want to make this too long, but this is a true story. And then the teacher come by and says, we don't use calculators in here. And I said, I figure you're going to say something like that. So I had 2 pockets. Took out the other pocket. It was a drop card. I said, can you sign this for me? Because I'm going to find a place where I feel welcomed. I need a calculator. So, wow, signed. And I'm looking through those little windows, and I found the lady who gave me a start. Okay. Well, this is not easy, but the short story is it took me 3 years, and I made it as a math teacher, and 14 years later, I retired with 34 years. And I used to take that math book with me everywhere. And the way I succeeded was because I had people like to my right, people that were half my age, helping me learn how to do math. And I passed those tests. So we have tutors, we have people who are going to need help in our school district. We are a sensitive board here. We care about people. So he was going to be sensitive. But if you're in dire straits out there, don't give up. Do what you got to do. Talk to somebody. Find a confidant. And I'll end by saying, may your glass always be half full. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ayala. Next, we'll have our comments from Board Member O'Kelly.
Thank you. Let's see, trying to see where to start. Well, first of all, I want to say good evening, and I want to congratulate all of the award winners tonight. That was a great accomplishment. We're very proud of you. And I want to congratulate Juwan. I'm really excited. That was originally my ideal college to go to. But I went to a different climate. I went to University of Miami in Florida.
Oh, that's completely different.
So I'm sure you will enjoy it. And all of the students out there who have been accepted to the university or college that they wanted to go to, that's such a wonderful feeling. And it's kind of scary, too, because you're leaving the security of what you know for a whole new world. But, you know, it's like a chapter in a book. You know, your whole life is made up of chapters. High school, you know, elementary was a chapter, high school was a chapter, now college will be another chapter. So good luck to all of you. I wish you all the best. We've had some great events recently that I was able to attend. I attended the Science Fair Awards ceremony, which was held at Carter High School, and was pleased to see the number of winners that we had and the great prizes. And aside from a medal or a trophy or the recognition, they received, many of them received prizes, including Veolia gave several significant cash prizes to a lot of our students. So I want to thank Veolia Water Management Company for all they do for this district. They have donated a lot of money to our students, and we deeply appreciate it. I also went to the college and career nights at Carter High School and Eisenhower High School, and really thought the presentations were excellent. We had a representative from the college board speaking to parents, and then a presentation by the district, and it really provided some valuable information to parents that they may have needed to know that where to start. How do I get my child in this? How can I help my child? So I thought they were very worthwhile and very powerful, and both had a good turnout. But I have to say, Eisenhower's was packed. The multi-purpose room. I don't think we could have gotten any more people in there. So they had a really great turnout. And I am also looking forward to Monday, February 27th, attending the Black History Celebration at the Palm Avenue Bistro. I think it'll be great. I've been in the past. Before it was held in Eisenhower's multi-purpose room, and it seemed like more of a community event, but now it's a district event. And it includes performances by a lot of our students that are just amazing. So it'd be great if you could make it. It's really well worth it, and you will enjoy yourself. And that's all for tonight. Want to remind everybody, due to a change in the board meeting schedule, we will be back next week for our March. We only have one board meeting in March, and it will be on March 1st because of some things that are time sensitive that need to be done. So hope to see you back then. And until then, have a great night. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we'll have comments from Board Member Montez.
Thank you, Board President, Ms. Walker. First and foremost, I want to congratulate all the employees that were recognized tonight by their respective unions for the recognition. Again, kudos to Mr. Tomaselli and everybody who was recognized tonight for all the good work that they're doing. I wanted to piggyback, well, not piggyback, but I wanted to speak a little bit about what Dr. D'Souza mentioned in his in the presentation that he gave regarding the NGSS standards. In the presentation, it claims that the NGSS standards are designed to prepare students for college, career, and citizenship. And it's something that I wanted to speak about, citizenship and citizenry, because I think it's something that our district has always strived to do, is not only prepare our students for college and for the workforce, but also to be good citizens. You know, and we have our ups and downs, and we have our issues at some of our schools sometimes. And we've got a lot of work to do. We've made tremendous strides, but I think that our district has always emphasized on producing good citizens, and it's evident at our graduations every year. You know, when we hand the students their diplomas, when they get ready and prepared for their entire school educational lives for that moment, for them to be so well behaved and for them to be so cordial, and you know, I'm so happy to have made it after 13 plus years for some of public education, and that's what means a lot to me as a school board member and as a parent. Not just that our kids are being prepared for college and the workforce, but that they graduate from our district as good citizens. You know, whether they take part in politics or not. You know, I believe the majority of our kids here leave being better people. You know, and so I just wanted to touch on that. I also wanted to congratulate our student board member Juan on your acceptance for the college of your choice. You know, as far as I'm concerned, if that's the college you wanted to go to, that is the college of your dreams. So congrats on that. And then I don't know if I mentioned it at the last board meeting or not, but I attended the honor roll assembly at your high school, or should we say Miss O'Callie's high school, Eisenhower High School, and it was nice to see Juwan playing the role of a high school kid, student, you know, being involved there at the rally, helping the principal and the staff, and you know, helping his peers, and being part of the program there for the honor roll. It was nice to see him, because we always see him here just with the board member hat, but right there he wasn't a board member. Right there he was, you know, he was doing his thing. So it was nice to see that. I think he did an awesome job, and you know, definitely showed me why he was elected to the school board here. So thank you, Juwan, for everything you do. I know you count down every day to your last day, but believe me, once you graduate and it's on to the next part of your life, you're gonna miss these days in the school district. And that's all I got for tonight. Thank you and good evening.
Thank you. We'll have next our comments from Vice President Martinez.
Thank you, President Walker. You know, I want to just answer my brother over here about the glass half full or half empty. Engineers say the glass is the wrong size.
Okay.
I heard that years back. Don't want to say how far. Okay. Yesterday, I attended something that was very beneficial to our community. I'd like to thank Chick-fil-A, or Chick-fil-A, I'm sorry, for a $100,000 check to the Levin. I happen to be a board member on the Levin. They service Werner Elementary School with Bella and Renaissance. And then there's also a third one out in Ontario, Summit for Ontario area. The Levin, if you're interested, it's mylevin.org online. And it's an after-school program, very small. It began in 2009. And we've grown very quickly at up to 16 sites now. And that's 2 a year. And I'm very proud of what they are doing, what we are doing for our community. Okay, let's see. I wanted to comment. I don't know if many people notice it or not. The front page liner inside the board agenda has been changed to reflect the strategic plan. There's some very good information for the community. So will this be online, or is it already online?
I'm not sure if it's.
Okay.
Oh, the plan itself is.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And I like the change on the agenda cover. No board members, just kids. That's what we should be all about. I'm not much into tooting my own horn. It's the hardest thing for me to do, and probably for most of you during an interview. Let's see. My wife's always telling me, turn the TV off. I'm tired of listening to the news. And whether I'm in the room or not, I'm always listening to the news. And today, as a STEM advocate, I was rewarded. For those of you working, probably haven't heard that we have 7 new planets, that they're 40 light years away. So if you're going to go, you better start now. You can find out either on nasa.com or space.com. And these 7 planets are important. They are called TRAPPIST, TRAPPIST 1, TRAPPIST 1. And they are within what scientists call the Goldilocks zone or planets. They may actually hold intelligent life or life. And that's the kind of stuff that I live for. Just information, STEM information, any of it. So now I have an answer to tell my wife. That's why I keep the news on all the time. I don't want to miss stuff like that. Even though I'll get it in the evening, I don't want third-hand news. Okay, I would like to see CWA Employee of the Quarter, if we could add that. I'm sure the board is good with that. And Ron, a little gift to the rest of our family. Really, that's about it. I want to congratulate everyone as well that received accolades today and awards. And Jawan, I'm always so proud of you, always. So just keep up the good work in school. You'll go far, my friend. Yeah, President Walker.
Thank you. And my comments are just that, again, congratulations, because I know the last time I talked to you, I'd ask you, where are you going, you know? And so congratulations on your, but I ask all young people that I work with, if they're seniors now, from this time until it's all where you going, and then when the decision day comes in, like, when are you leaving? When are you leaving? And after that, make sure that you went, right? So that's my whole thing, financial aid and when you're going, where you're going. And so with that note, March 2nd is a priority deadline for financial aid. So all students, parents, or anybody considering going back to school or starting school again, March 2nd is a priority deadline. Now, with that said, don't be scared, because you actually can still do your financial aid after March 2nd. Oftentimes kids think, and people are told that, oh, it's after March 2nd, you can't do it. And that prohibits a lot of young people from finishing their financial aid or even applying to college or community college because they think they won't have any money. So please just encourage people to do that. And like I said, this year, I even finally did my FAFSA again just like 2 days ago, because I'm going to go back to school next year. Yeah, and pursue my doctorate degree. So, scary. But so I did my financial aid, and luckily I did, because once I did mine, it changed my EFC for my daughter. So we went back and did the revision and said, "Mommy's, you know." Wow. So now she's going to get some more money. So I'm really excited about that. That was just like, whoa, phenomenal. So just make sure you're telling people that they can still do it, but the priority deadline is March 2nd. And for your young people and your friends, make sure that they do their financial aid. And the other thing, so on the 27th, yes, the Black History celebration, the district-wide Black History celebration will be on on the 27th. And I'm really excited because I did talk to Dr. Avila about bringing our literacy project in conjunction with the district. And so we attended a conference, which we'll be attending next month, the CASA conference. And I actually met the book vendor there, and they had such a big array of books, very much multicultural, everything. And not just when you think about book fairs, often you think about little kids, elementary school, but they had books all the way the gamut to teenage, for teenagers and everything. And so I really liked the kind of diaspora of books and offerings that this company had. So when I brought it to Dr. Avila and I was like, hey, we have a focus on literacy, and I think this would be a great idea. He was like, okay, let's look at it, take a look. And next thing I know, everything is set and we're square, and we have 3 days of opportunities for families, not just in Rialto. So if you have families and anybody watching who wants to come and buy some books for their families, friends, and everything, we're open to do that at our PDC center. So please take advantage of that. I'm really excited about it. So and so is my daughter. She got the flyer from her school, from TRAP, and was like, Mom, we got to go to the book fair. And I was just so proud. I was like, oh, your mom was so, yeah, she doesn't care. So, but just to be a part of that. And last thing, I was in a meeting today with Ed Trust West and a couple other of the school districts and board members around just kind of the kind of educational landscape and looking at testing and outcomes and everything for our area specific. And I was so pleasantly surprised that they actually gave shout out, not just a shout out, we're highlighted Rialto Unified because of our graduation rates, and then Rialto High School was lifted up for some of their specific successes there. So when they said it and everybody cheered, I'm like, yay, Rialto. Once again, I'm proud. So great job to the district and everybody who supports our district and making these changes and achievements. And yes, there are changes, and we don't get better without the change. So thank you again on our strategic plan and aligning and everything from that standpoint, because we're getting better. And the public knows it. So let's keep championing on, and everything, and tooting our own horn. Let's find a way to toot our own horn. So thank you. Next, that is it, and we'll be going into our public hearing. So for public hearing, the Williams Inspection 2016-2017 second quarterly report. Reference number D1.1. Do I have a motion to open public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Any person wishing to speak on the items on the public hearing agenda will be granted 3 minutes. Public hearing. Pursuant to the requirements of the government code and board policy, the initial contract reopener for the 2017-2018 school year submitted by the Communications Workers of America, CWA, for an agreement between the Communication Workers of America, CWA, and the Rialto Unified School District Board of Education is hereby posted in compliance with the legislative requirements for public notice. Reference D 2.1 through 3. Is there anyone? Vote
to open it.
Okay. So do I have a vote to open the, it's just all in favor of opening the hearing?
Aye.
Aye.
Any no's?
Time.
The time is now 9:03 p.m.
Thank you.
Okay, is there anybody? No?
It's open for,
if you
it's
wish.
open, and if you guys would like to or not.
Like I said earlier, I'm looking forward to
Okay.
negotiations with somebody that's new and be an interesting time. We'll come up with a good, strong, fair, and hopefully fast contract.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other comments from the board or any in the public? Excellent. Then do I have a motion to close public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, and all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No, the motion passes.
Time again.
And the time is, thank you, 9:04 p.m. Consent calendar items. All items on the consent calendar will be acted upon in one motion unless pulled by Board of Education members or the superintendent for any individual action. Do I have a motion to approve consent calendar?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Okay, and our preferential vote is gone. So, all in favor?
Aye.
Oh,
I had a couple
you have
pulls.
a poll? Oh, okay, I'm sorry about that.
H,
What are the pools?
H10 and H12.
Okay. And anyone else? Any other polls? Okay. So look, do I have a motion then to approve the calendar with minus the H10 and H12?
I make a motion to approve E through J, with the exception of H10 and H12.
Second.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the motion passes. And then can we go on then to H10?
Okay, I have a concern here because educator effectiveness funds are designated specifically for professional development for teachers. This agenda item states that the $12,000 increase would provide training to administrators and managers, which is not an appropriate use of educator effectiveness funds. In the past, I approved the use of educator effectiveness funds for the strategic thinking and the plan and the action processes, but that was because there were teachers involved in those processes. So I have a concern that this is specifically for administrators, and that's not the purpose of those funds.
Do we have any?
We look into the program guideline, and you're correct, Mrs. O'Kelly, but also the program funding guideline allow us to use for any professional development program. This is a strategic planning. We're preparing our leading to our educational program and achieving our district goal. So it does allow other category of expenditures. We look into I did, and my director of fiscal services will look at together to ensure we're in compliance. We did that.
So you're sure we're in compliance? Because
Yes.
I always heard
No.
that it was just for teachers.
Yes, we did, and I can go back and double check and make sure that we're correct.
Well, that might be, yeah, because otherwise we have to find another funding source.
You're correct, and I'll do that.
Okay.
But I did check, and then we both checked to make sure it's the proper funding for this purposes.
Okay.
And I did inform Dr. Avila that it can be done also.
All right.
Okay. Okay, and so your next item, which would be H12?
We have to approve H10 first. Or?
So are
We
we?
can do them together or
Yeah, I'll just-
individually?
Okay. Well, this is something I've said before, and I do not understand why the city requirements, approval and engineering required by Edison were not included in the original bid amounts, because surely those things are known ahead of time. This amount on this particular agenda item has virtually doubled from the original amount. So why, when we're getting bids, are we not including all the expenses that have to be known, like the city requirements have to be known?
I'm Mrs. Chu, our director, will be able to respond to these concerns. And I have the same concerns, Mr. Kelly, when I saw the number, and she will explain to you why it was not included and why we have to do this.
Good evening, Madam President, distinguished board members, Dr. Avila. My name is Iris Chu, Director of Facility Planning. This is presented to me. I was a little surprised too with the high dollar amount in increase to carry the project through for services that's required on this project. But I do understand, although the dollar amount is not common, it's kind of high in terms of amendment, but I can understand for these reasons. The extension of time of the construction, it was affected by different factors. We have issue with bringing power to the site because we decided to include the power for future electrical buses. And that presented a major change. We started with a 2,000 amp electrical gear, bringing the power, 2,000 amp capacity. But in order to supply power to the future electrical buses, when we have the bus and a transportation yard in the back, the engineer calculated up to 8,000 amp of service will be required. So for this big change, we have dealt with the power company for them to bring more power from the other side of the street trench through the street to the CNG project lot. And that require, of course, increased scope for this kind of services. And secondly, we have many very hot days in the summer, and we'll experience many raining days now in recent months. And these kind of weather kind of slow down the project. The contractor can do only so much in a very hot day, so the kind of work it could take 2 days instead of 1 day to finish. So we have that kind of situation. Of course, the requirement for testing lab and special inspection will increase because they have to come to the site more often because of the delay. And then the city requirement. This is really the first project we are dealing with the city approval process. It's a full city approval. Therefore, it's new to me, to us, the team. We didn't know we had to deal with the city planning, city building department, city public works, and even later city business offices. Go through different layers of plan check process. And when we made minor change at the construction, when we find something that may be more efficient or unnecessary to change, we had to take it back to the city for approval, and the city can slow down the process quite a bit.
Well, if the process is being slowed down, we can't be paying them when they're not working. So why does that increase the cost?
The scope of the project also was evaluated by the consultant before we get the city approval. We were in a way try to arrange to make it happen as soon as the city approved. So we didn't give them the complete information for them to evaluate, gave us proposal in the beginning. Especially this kind of project is not a usual project, so there were miscalculation by the vendor.
And why wouldn't they have known ahead of time how many amps they would need to produce the power we would need? You said you went in saying 2,000, but it was up to 8,000. I mean, how is that an add-on? They must have known that ahead of time.
At the beginning of the project, we're looking at CNG station, compressed natural gas powered buses and the vehicles. But almost 2 months after the start of construction, we realized the opportunity for state grant and federal grant for electrical buses. And then we really want to take that opportunity. Therefore, we scramble to reevaluate how this can happen to make sure we don't have to dig up the trench again after the CNG bus is done. Go through all the concrete, and those were layered with rebars and grounding system. So we decided this is time to do it. Looking into the future, the potential future, we decided at that time, under the leadership of Mr. Muhammad Islam and our consultant David Worthall, that this is the trend. This is going to happen. So we have to prepare the infrastructure for that future. At that time, even though it's designed for CNG, we had to change in order to supply power for future electrical buses.
Okay, well, at the very least, I'd like to know that we know in the future what the city requirements are going to be, because those would be kind of set in stone, and that can be anticipated into the bid, and the people can be, the vendors can be told that they are to include all of those fees and everything in their original bid, so we don't have these increases later on.
Yes, in next project, we should learn a lot from this project. The city sent inspector to the job. Instead of DSA inspector, this is a city job. So they sent inspector, and they have their requirements that's slightly different. So we didn't know, and still today I really don't know. I just go as the project goes, whatever he say, we'll do.
Okay, thank you.
And
Thank
I'd
you.
like to just add, Mrs. Kelly, your concern, this is a learning process. Being a school district, you don't see this type of project experienced by our staff, including myself. You know, we build a school.
Mm-hmm.
We don't build this type of project, and we're unique in that nature. Not too many school districts has a CG operation. So it's a learning process myself and our staff, what's the city requirement? What's the power supplies needed? How far the distance? You approved for the Southern California Edison easement. Those are learning process. We never deal with this kind of situation when we build a school.
Right.
So this is all new to us, as you were saying, why we didn't know this requirement prior to begin the project. We're learning as we're going forward, as we're moving forward. Project is going very well. As you see the opportunity we have to receive the grant for $2.5 million, 7 electrical buses at no cost, and because of the infrastructure we are going for to build, that make us eligible to apply and be
okay.
a candidate to receive this grant. I give Dr. Avila that very high confidence that we most likely we're going to receive this grant because of we meet all the requirement. And unlike other districts don't have that requirement match. So this is like being a proactive and taking the opportunity is available now. If we do later, we have to, as you heard Mrs. Chu saying, we have to, the opportunity may not be available to receive, and we have to spend more money to break again underground to bring that infrastructure ready for our electrical buses.
Okay.
So that's kind of where the industry running with energy projects, and the state giving those opportunity for the school district are available to take.
I just wanted to make sure there was a logical explanation.
Comment from Mr. Montez? Board member Montez?
And I just want to thank you for that additional information. By the way, we did get a notice from Dr. Avila about the 7 electrical buses. But I do want to add to what Ms. O'Calley comment or concern is that I don't think anyone here can argue the logic, for this expense. We are complete in understanding and in agreement. I think what Ms. O'Calley would prefer, and I would prefer that you check with the city first.
Right.
That way, on any construction, on any project, you have to check with the city. It's, I don't want to say common sense, but from a business perspective, if we're going to build a power, if we're going to build a station, if we're going to build a school, whatever we're going to build, you have to go to the city. We have to go to the city. We're our own entity. We're our own school district. And for many things, we have the leisure and the freedom to make decisions on our own without having to ask permission or get approval from anybody. But like my father always tells me, it's better to ask permission than to ask for forgiveness. Somebody should have went to the city from the beginning, and then this expense would have been added in the beginning. So I understand Mrs. O'Kelly's concern is okay, it was approved for this amount, now we're going to add it for this amount. Why? It's good, a good reason, but had it been done, had somebody gone to the city in the first place, we would have already approved this back at the first time. And that's all I wanted to piggyback on. So thank you for explaining it to us. And thank you, Mr. Islam, for all your guys' hard work. I don't want to sound like I'm being hard on you guys or whatever, but I just wanted to add to what her concern was because there's a logical reason for the additional cost, but it could have been given to us in the beginning had you guys gone or sent someone to the city.
We have done all the approval, been through all the approval process with different city departments. Yes, we did that, and we start. Then we had change in the course of.
But I want to further clarify, Mr. Montez, your concern. In the beginning, you recall the CNG meant for CNG project, nothing else.
No, but we approved it for power as well.
You're correct. Yeah. But CNG project, we got the city approval with the requirement of the power supply we need. By modification of the bringing electrical infrastructure, when we saw the opportunity just arrived, we don't want to wait, miss that opportunity, $2.5 million with the additional 30,000 fee. We said, let's do it. But that modification required take the plan back to the city approval And that extended the scope of the work for the consultant that they have to do for the testing. So it is not that we have bypassed the city approval. The plan has to be approved by city. We cannot just, we are.
So all these this add-on is primarily because we added the electrical buses,
Correct.
and that changed the whole
That
scope.
changed the scope,
Okay.
that changed, modified the plan. We have to get back to city approval, make sure they're on board with our change of the plan.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
so
Thank you.
we didn't plan this in the beginning, but it came opportunity we don't want to miss.
Okay.
So I want to be clear.
Thank
Board
you.
Member Martinez?
Oh, thank you. I kind of differ with my other board members here in the respect that I want to commend you, your department, and Mr. Islam, your people, because for so long, our people have not stepped up to take a chance. And I have been just encouraging our people, make mistakes. That's a way we improve. That's a way we invoke change. Mistakes are expected. It's an expected part of doing business. But this really showed me again, for the second time this year, or within a year, that your department has the vision to see something that needs to change and has saved us tens of thousands, if not $100,000, by not having to complete the project, tear everything out, and we're still spending the same amount, but having to do it later. And we would have missed the 7 buses. So I encourage the board to encourage our people to make mistakes when they are prudent and well thought through, when there's opportunity. I'm speaking for myself. Feel free to move the district forward. I beg of our people to do that. And again, without that blessing from the board, Rialto will continue to do things the way Rialto has always done things, and we will never improve. So I ask the board for their indulgence and just encourage our people. There's a comment.
Okay. Ms. O'Kelly?
Yes, I am all for moving the district forward, and I am 100% behind this project. However, I do think it's the board's responsibility, if the initial fee doubles, to question it and find out why.
That's all.
All right. So are we okay to move on both of the item 10 and 12 to vote together?
Make a
Or do
motion.
we- Okay, excellent.
And I'll second it.
All right. Do all in favor of approving items H and 10? Can I? H and 12, excuse me, H, 10, and 12. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any abstentions or, okay, right, motion passes. And we'll move then to discussion items. So, may I have a motion to open up to approve discussion item number 1?
So moved.
Can I have a
Second.
Okay, excellent. Discussion item number
Sounds
1.
like a chorus.
Right. To approve an agreement with Nolan Construction Services to provide division of the state architecture inspection services for the district-wide solar energy project, Phase 2 at Kolb, Frisbee, and Jehu Middle Schools and Rialto High School for a total not to exceed $66,000? Okay,
Yeah,
$66,640. Overtime and Saturday services will be paid at 1 and 1.5 times the normal rate, and Sunday services will be billed at 2 times the normal rate to be paid from the general fund and reimbursed by Sun Edison and its joint financial partner, Onyx Renewable Partners LP, per agreement at the end of the project. Any discussion?
No.
Okay, excellent. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Didn't we need a
Any-
motion?
Did we move?
No,
We
we
did.
Did we
We
move?
made a
We
first
did.
and a
Yeah.
second.
Right. Okay. Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Can we have a number 2? That's the way it's written. Approve changing the Wednesday, March 15th, 2017 Board Education meeting to Wednesday, March 1st, 2017. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. And number 3, the Rialto Unified School District Board of Education votes for the following delegates to the California School Boards Association Delegate Assembly. The candidates vote for no more than 6 candidates. Christina Cameron Otero, Needles Unified School District. Tommy Courtney, Lucerne Valley USD. Michael C. Flores, Ontario Montclair SD. Margaret Hill, San Bernardino City USD. Wilson F. So, Apple Valley USD. Gabriel L. Stein, Victor ESD. Eric Swanson, Hesperia USD. Mondi M. Taylor, Etowanda SD. Kathy A. Thompson, Central SD. And Charles J. Uhali, Chafee Joint Union, HSD. Do I have yes. Do I have a motion to approve?
Well, I think we have to choose 6 candidates first.
Oh, okay, thank you. And I was gonna ask, I need some clarification or some help on this, because how are we gonna
May I
choose
make
the
a
people?
suggestion?
It was in
Thank
our
you.
last board packet. They had
Okay.
the write-ups for each of the candidates.
Okay, and have we made a choice? We still have to choose.
We haven't made it together.
Oh, excellent.
Maybe it would help. You know, it's difficult to know if all the people here who are running. We don't know all their backgrounds without doing a lot of research, but it seems prudent, at least since we got an opportunity to vote for 6 people, look at the cities that are closest to us. That would be one way to look at it. And because, you know, if we're voting somebody in Needles, they might be a good person, but still, you know, we have a cohesion, we have a communication nearby here, that we see each other in various functions, and that would be one way to help find who the 6 best candidates would be. I mean, just a suggestion.
Okay, Board Member O'Kelly?
Well, I was just going to point out, for example, I think we all know Margaret Hill.
Right.
Yeah, I
Got my
definitely
vote.
want to vote for her, yes.
Right.
Any other recommendations?
Charles U. Haley
Okay.
Chafee?
and Chafee, he's been on the board 40 years plus.
You got
And,
Michael Flores from Ontario Montclair.
Okay, that's
I agree.
That's 3. We need 3 more.
Etowanda. Mondi F.
Taylor.
M. Taylor.
And Central, Kathy A. Thompson.
That's 5.
Okay. And Victor, Gabriel Elstein,
Yeah. You
Victor ESD, or
you
Hesperia?
just selected everyone I have.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. So with that said, we have selected Michael C. Flores, Margaret Hill, Gabriel Stein, Mondi Taylor, Kathy A. Thompson, and Charles J. Uhali. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion to approve.
Second.
Okay. Is there any more discussion? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. That was number 3. And number 4, approve the recommendations of the administrative panel hearing AHP, administrative hearing case number 161732, and stipulated case numbers 16-17-29 and 16-17-33.
So
Have a motion to
moved.
approve? All right.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. And may I have, this is the time for adjournment, any motions to adjourn?
So moved.
No, okay, there's the chorus. All in favor?
Aye.
Any abstentions? No, yeah. Motion passes. The time is now 9:30 p.m.